Hey, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be sharing the mental health books that I really want to read. I decided to do this video because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I thought it was the perfect time to share some of the mental health related books that are on my TBR. Some of these books have been on my TBR for years. Actually, the majority of these are all books that have been on my TBR for more than 5 years. So I really need to get to these ones. It's been a while since I read a book that had to do with mental health too, so I'll probably try to get to one of these soon, at least. So why don't we just get into it. First one I have is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. This one deals with a girl who has anxiety, which I can relate to because I have anxiety, which sucks. So I feel like this is a book I'm really going to connect with. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. When it first came out in 2017, I believe, there was so much talk about it, and I meant to pick it up then, but I still have not got to it. So I really want to. The cool thing about it, too, is that I believe it does have some illustrations in it. Yeah, like that. Because the main character is the author of a webcomic, which is super cool, and she falls in love, or I'm assuming she falls in love with a guy who writes fan fiction based off of her webcomic. Such a cool concept, so I'm really excited to read this one, and I plan to actually get to it sometime soon. Another book by Francesca Zappia that I want to get to is Made You Up. This one deals with schizophrenia, which is the mental illness that fascinates me the most. I've just always been very interested in schizophrenia and how it works. Of course, it's an awful illness, and I'm not like glorifying it in any way, but it's just so interesting and is one of the most unique mental health disorders that I've ever heard of. So I've been really wanting to read a book about it. The only thing negative that I've heard about this book is that it's not an accurate representation of schizophrenia, so at least that's kind of good to know before going into it, knowing like, okay, this isn't going to be super accurate. As long as I'm prepared for that, I think it'll be fine. I actually started it at one point and then never finished it, not for any particular reason, I just put it down for whatever reason, but for what I did read of it, it was really interesting, so I really need to pick it back up. Then I have Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella, which is another book that deals with anxiety. So it is a book that I think I'm really going to relate to. I haven't heard a lot about this book lately. When it first came out, there was a lot of buzz around it, but since then, I've heard nothing about it. So I don't know if that means like it just wasn't that good, but I'll still give it a try. I've also never read a book by Sophie Kinsella, and I've heard great things about her books, so I want to read at least one book by her. Next is This Song Will Save Your Life by Layla Sales. Can't remember what mental health illness that this covers, but it is categorized as a mental health book, and it's fairly short, so I feel like I could get to this book or get through it really quickly. Another thing I heard, obviously, has to do with music because song is in the title, so I feel like I'm gonna like this one because I love books that have to do with music. So I'm really excited for this one. It sounds pretty good. Next I have Under Rose-Tainted Skies by Louise Gournall, another book that I read the first chapter of. I think I tried it for a try a chapter tag, but I didn't end up picking it. But it was really interesting based on the first chapter. This one is about a girl who has agoraphobia, so she is afraid to leave her house. She never leaves her house, and I think at one point during the story she does leave her house. And it goes from there. So I really want to read this one, especially since I've never read a book that has to do with this condition, and it sounds pretty intriguing. Also, the cover to it is so stunning. I love the pink and white. It's just, it's so beautiful. Love it. Then I have Without Merit by Colleen Hoover. Another one where I don't remember what mental health illness that this covers, but it is categorized as a mental health book. I've heard this is Colleen Hoover's one of her most deepest, darkest books, and I love my books dark. I love dark stories, so I feel like I'll love this, and I also love Colleen Hoover, so of course I'm going to get to this one at some point. I'm like slowly getting through all of her books, but she is definitely one of my favorite authors. And next is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This is another really dark book, and I've heard that it has a lot of twists that you won't see coming. I've been meaning to pick up this book for ages just because it's super popular and I just haven't gotten to it yet. But I've always been super interested. It's been on my list, on my TBR for so long, so I'm hoping to get to it soon. But I do hear it does have some mental health aspects in it. Then I have What I Lost by Alexandra Ballard. I think compared to the books that I have on my TBR, this is the most recent book that I put on my TBR, and that was in 2018, last year. So I've had this book on my TBR for not too long, like a year, but really want to get to it. A year is still a long time. This one deals with a girl who has an eating disorder. I think she has anorexia. For some reason, the the term just left my mind. Anorexia or bulimia, one of those two. So I've never read a book about a girl who has, or anyone who has an eating disorder. And it sounds like a really heavy topic, but I'm super interested to read a book that is about that topic, so hopefully this will be good. And the last book I'm going to share is A List of Cages by Robin Rowe. Another one, I can't remember what type of mental illness that this one covers. Maybe I can look it up really quick, because I have heard that this one is a mental health book. It's just categorized on Goodreads as a mental health book, but not what type of mental illness it covers. So I don't know. I guess I'll find out when I read it. This one is about two brothers who are foster brothers, and I think if I can remember correctly, they had been without each other for a while and then they meet up again. That's like the gist of what I remember from it, but it sounds super good. It sounds like it's going to have some family, brotherly bonds in it, along with some mental health aspects, so I really want to read it. I meant to read it right when it came out, and you know the theme, didn't end up getting to it, so I'd like to read it soon. So those are all the mental health books, or at least some of them, that I do really want to read, and they're like the mental health books that are at the top of my TBR, so I do hope to get to these really soon, and I'll definitely pick one of these up when I am in the mood to read a mental health book, which I want to do really soon, because it's been a while since I've read a book that has to do with mental illness, so that would be really nice. If you've read any of these books, let me know which one I should pick up first, which one I should pick up right away, because that'll help me pick which one I should prioritize. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below for more bookish related videos and anime videos, and I'll be back really soon. Bye!